What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of CNC. It's episode number 41. And we start today's episode with Leipzig away from home at the Red Bull Arena on the back of our win against Werder Bremen in the last game in the last episode. I mentioned this before, but Leipzig are one of the teams which I thought would be doing better at this point in the save. I mean, they're still within a shot of a Champions League place, but last season they didn't qualify, I believe. They didn't the season before that. It's just one of those teams that you expect to do better with all the young talent they've got, you know. I'll tell you one team that also makes me feel that way as well in the Premier League, Everton. I know you guys are the same as me, but in my career mode saves, Everton, they're really like hot and cold, you know. There are some saves where they can finish in the top four, and then there are some saves when they're like mid-table. There are certain teams like in FIFA where you expect them to do better as the years go by, but sometimes I guess they can, and then others they just don't. But this is one of the saves where Leipzig for some reason aren't doing too well, and I have to say, I don't believe I've lost to Leipzig so far in this series. I don't think. I mean, obviously I lost to them in the Cup this year, but as we know, we fielded a weakened side for that, so it doesn't really count. Even though it does officially count as a loss, I don't really count it myself, so I fielded a weakened side for that one. But in league games, I'm pretty sure we haven't lost to them once since the save began in our 3 years in the Bundesliga. And in this game, we scored 2 goals in the first start for you-know-who, Ransford ball bagging another brace on his way to surely another golden boot, and then 5 minutes after the restart. I mention this every single time this guy scores for us, man. One of those players that sort of emerges from nowhere to be one of the stars in the team. That, to me, is one of the coolest things about doing a FIFA CM or an FM save. There's players you don't really expect much of when you bring them in, and then they become one of the stars in the team. I know I say it basically every time he scores now, but Julian Gattal, he's 88 rated, for goodness sake, man. Clearly dynamic potential working in our favour there, but those are things you love to see. Still, with the second game of today's episode here, this is the big one. Inter Milan away at the San Siro. Of course, congratulations to them for winning the Serie A in real life as well. Obviously, Juve's dominance after all the years, winning the Serie A title consecutively, for Inter Milan to go and end that. You know, obviously no disrespect to Juve whatsoever, but it's always really interesting to see who's the first team, you know, to break up the dominance in domestic football. Inter have done it. Conte's done a great job there, and yeah, winning the Serie A this year, making them Serie A champions for the first time. Was it 9 straight? I think for Juve, I think it was pretty remarkable. But Inter, of course, winning the title this year. So taking them on away from home anyway. Of course, in the first leg we lost 1-0. So heading to the second leg, we needed to score. And after some really frustratingly poor defending from yours truly, Inter went a goal up on the night, and I was thinking, right, it's surely game over in Tayo. But despite that being the case, I stayed in attack mode, tried to get back in the game, missed an absolute sitter with Gadikli that would have made it 1-1 on the night and 2-1 over 2 legs. But Ransford did not miss, so at half-time, still in a tie at this point, like 1-1. Of course, we're still down on aggregate. But again, don't forget, due to the away goal ruling, if we would score, we will be going through on the away goal ruling. So 9 minutes after the restart, still felt relatively confident. Missed another golden chance with Gadikli, Strakosha making that save there. But as I was getting chances at the other end and failing to convert the goals I needed, I just couldn't stop Inter coming forward either. Martial scored in the first leg, rolled through Borrelli there to make it 2-1. Inter restoring their 2-goal cushion over the 2 legs, and I was thinking, just, it doesn't seem to matter how many chances I get, I'm not finishing enough of them, and my defence has been my Achilles heel since the save began. Seems like the tie is over, we're going out, second straight year, round of 16 exit in the Champions League. But I thought, no, sod that defeatist mentality, let's just keep on going and see if I can get myself back in this game and back in the tie, and we would as well. Third time the charm, 20 minutes to go, great stalling run from Simon down the left, and then Gadikli gets his feet, I thought muddled up at first, but actually great footwork there, and then finish as well. So finally, I get it right of our number 23, make it 2-2 on the night, but as things stand, we're still going out on aggregate 3-2. So I was pushing, I was pressing, I was looking for a late winner on the night, and the tie over 2 legs as well. And with 15 minutes to go, Gattal turns Calais to Car, offloads to Ransford bar, nice little footwork there, nice little passing movement, and then that man once again, Ransford bar makes it 3-2 on the night, 3-3 over 2 legs, and bangs it in as the captain puts us in front on aggregate. I have mentioned this so many times before, but this is what I love about career mode saves. And like, seriously, when you need like a hero, when you need someone to step up out there, you look for your leader, you look for your legend. Ransford bar, what a first time finish, man. This guy just does not miss. He's like lights out, man. So clinical in front of goal, absolutely lethal. So 3-2 Dresden. As things stand, we're going through, and it's stoppage time after much better defending with Inter pressing and looking for the late leveler on the night and the goal to get through. 2. We played our way forward from a goal kick, and Simon wraps the move off as well, makes it 4-2 and sends us through. And we were going through anyway, but that goal wraps it up there and puts us into the quarterfinals. That was, without question, one of the best European ties I'd played in this year's FIFA, no doubt about it. Really, really fun, really enjoyable. My defense was terrible, but in the end, this is Dynamo Dresden. Like, this is Dynamo Dresden football, man. Like, this is what we do. We just outscore. You know, I can't shut teams out on a consistent basis, so I just need to score as much as possible. So we're through to the quarterfinals for the first time ever, and as you'll see, the draw in the last 8, we have got Atletico Madrid in the quarterfinals, Barcelona versus Lyon, Real Madrid versus Man City, very interesting indeed, and Leipzig versus Liverpool are the other ties in the last 8 there. So into the quarterfinals of the Champions League for the first time ever, and we are taking on the holders. As we know, last season Atletico Madrid won the tournament, so we will take them on over 2 legs. The first leg coming away at the Metropolitano, you see that in today's episode, the final game, and the second one coming back in Dresden. So we made hard work of getting through that tie against Inter. It was so well balanced. I did say when the tie was drawn it could go either way, and I thought when Inter scored that second goal at the San Siro it was over. But again, this is just all about what Dynamo Dresden are about. Seriously, man, I can't defend with this team. 3 at the back, I think I have gotten better as the series has gone on. Maybe you guys disagree. I know I make some really comical errors at times, but I think I have gotten slightly better. You look right now in the Bundesliga, for example, 7 games to go. Seems like the title's almost in the bag. 8 points clear of Bayern, 12 clear of Dortmund. So I think we need to win. I think it's 5 of our last 7 games, and we'll be crowned champions. But we've only conceded 12 goals all season long in the league. So it's kind of funny as well, thinking that we conceded 3 goals against Inter Milan. That's a quarter of all the goals we conceded in 27 games in just 2 in the Champions League. But yeah, I think my defense has gotten better using this 3 at the back system, as I do promote Rene Franke here from the academy, the best youth player we had. I can't believe he only has the exciting prospect. Really? This guy had 88 to 94 his potential range, and he only has the exciting prospect tag. I think, as I mentioned before, this is when you have like an overload of young players with high potential. As a squad, EA will look to sort of decrease or downgrade a player's potential, so you don't have, like, you know, the whole squad with potential to be special. Perhaps for realism, I don't know. But it was still a surprise to see he only has the exciting prospect tag and not potential to be special. But yeah, I think my defense has gotten better. You know, when you do play a different system on FIFA, and this goes both offline and online gameplay, when you play a different system on FIFA and one you're unfamiliar with, it can take a while to get to grips with it, but over time you will start to learn what works. I think for me that the real help in this system and getting better defensively has been with the wide midfielders we have. I know Gatao is not as much of a defensive presence, but occasionally he can hold back a little bit and provide a little bit of cover. But of course, most importantly, as I mentioned a few times now, Felix Agu is like one of the biggest reasons why I think I have improved my defense a lot since we got into the Bundesliga primarily. But also the development of Schaefer, the defensive midfielder we have in this team as well. He sits back, he's like an anchor man in this team, and that helps protect the back three as well. I think in the first perhaps 2.5 seasons, and maybe even 3 seasons, thinking about it in this save, the problem I had is I was being like way too attack minded, like just far too attack minded. I kept on saying like my wide midfielders were essentially just wingers. They did not track back, and you know, both my holding mids were centre mids, and neither of them really sat back either. So I only had 3 players back at one time most of the time. So I think that's really helped, you know, being a lot more strategic and being a lot more defence minded. Obviously still prioritising the goals we score and being the attack minded teams we are. I haven't lost that identity, but I have been a lot better and stable defensively, I think, mainly due to those sort of role changes from our personnel, if not a formation change with this team. Still, for the final games of this episode, after we beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 3-0, this was the first leg against Atletico Madrid in the quarter-final. So heading into this one, obviously they are the holders. I decided to be brave right from the very first whistle and just go in attack mode against Inter Milan in the first leg. That was the mistake I made. I was a little bit passive, a little bit defence-minded, not really going for goals and just trying to preserve the clean sheet. With this game falling away from home, I thought, well, let's get those away goals. We know how crucial they can be. We saw that in the last round. So let's get those away goals. Scored the first one early through Simon, who's been so much better this year, as I mentioned before. And then, of course, that man, Mr. Dynamo Dresden, Ramsey-Bar heads in our second goal. I could have been 3-0 up at this point as well. Mr. Sitter with good equally, and really should have converted that. But it was 2-0 at half time though. Looking like we were on course, but once again, I can talk about how much my defense has gotten better since this save began, and it has. but I still make these really stupid errors every now and then, and primarily as well, it's passing out from the back. I've got to learn sometimes. You're taught this when you're 6 years old in junior football. You know the phrase, when in doubt, kick it out. Too often I just try and play out from the back in tight spaces under pressure, and it just doesn't work. Did the same there, gave the ball straight to Marcus Llorente, who made it 2-1, and unfortunately after missing a golden chance in the second half as well, it means whilst we win the leg, the tie is certainly not over yet. We're 2-1 up heading back to Dresden, which means Atletico Madrid will need to score twice in Dresden, but they're certainly capable of doing that, being the holders of the competition. The tie's not over yet. It should be. We win the game, but I should have wrapped that tie up in the first leg, man. Gifted Atletico a goal back, missed a couple of sitters as well. But I guess the most important thing is we still are in the driver's seat. Keep a clean sheet or concede no more than 1 goal, and we'll be going through to the final four of the Champions League. And in the league as well, 6 games to go. We are almost there. I think just 2 more. No, not 2 more. I think 3 or possibly 4 more wins in our final 6 will see us retain the Bundesliga titles. But I want this episode of CNC there, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of CNC featuring the second leg of that Champions League quarter-final tie.